Life coaching is about asking questions. It's an art. And the art of asking questions is really dependent on what type of questions you ask. The question that has been proven to be most effective is not the questions that are problem-focused, but solution-focused questions. You could ask yourself how you got on the pit, or you could ask yourself how you can get out of it. Where do you go from here? And you can learn about the pit much better. You won't get into a bad mood. You won't get into hopelessness when you ask questions that are solution-based instead of problem-based. You could look through the front view window of your car and drive forward, or you could constantly look in the rear view mirror and try to drive like that. But usually you can't drive effectively like that. And the same thing is true as with the questions that we ask. And there are, in this week, in the Torah reading, we read about in Sefer Dvarim, even people out of Israel, they caught up before Tisha B'Av to read this parasha. How in Dvarim we talk about the word Eicha, where Moshe Rabbeinu, when he's rebuking the people, he's saying, how can I have carried you guys alone? Eicha, you guys, you always suspected me, you always challenged me. And this Eicha that is in the parasha of Dvarim, the Ashkenazim, they sing it with the tune of the Eicha, of the Kinot of Tisha B'Av. We also have in the prophet Yeshaya, and he says over there also, Eicha, how did the nation become like a prostitute, like a harlot? And Eicha Yeta Lezona. We have also how, with the prophet Yirmiyahu, who says, Eicha Yashva Vadad, Eicha, how could we be like an almana? How could we be like a widow? These three questions of the three prophets, Moshe, Yeshaya, and Yirmiyah, are predated before that already. Hashem, when he had the first question on Adam after he sinned with the forbidden fruit, he said to him, Eicha, which literally means, where are you? Hashem was asking Adam was really just to be able to open up conversations that you do to teshuvah. As you know, the pasuk says, V'yomer Hashem Elokim, Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei, name of mercy, turned to Adam, asking him this question of Eicha, where are you? Which same letters, Eicha and Eicha. And Adam answered the question. I'm in the Gan Eden, and I'm hiding because I'm afraid and I'm scared and I'm naked. This was to give Adam a chance when Hashem asked Adam this question to open up and to say and to admit that he did a sin and do tshuva. But Adam missed this opportunity. He could have saved all humanity from death if he would have just been able to take up an offer and say that I made a mistake and I'm going to change. The commentators, they explained that really when the question was Eicha, it wasn't just where are you, how Adam understood it, but Eicha really means that we once were together, me and you, Adam, but now that you have the snake inside you, the poison, the spiritual poison of the snake, and you have the Etz Hadat, which of course the Rambam says that now, before the sin of eating from the forbidden fruit, so all temptations to Adam were false. But now there was legitimacy to temptations, and he looks at them that they are a reality, Adam. And now that you have this inside of you, and the Yetzirah is part of you now, Adam. So Eicha, where are you headed with this? Where are you going with this? What's your direction now? This question that Hashem asked Adam, Eicha, our rabbis say, he didn't just ask the question, he was actually saying kinot on Adam. He was lamenting. And that lamenting, he again did the same lamentation when the Jewish people were, after the destruction of the temple, they had to leave the land of Israel. So lamentation was again Eicha, the same word. Now what is the thread between these different questions? And I think that the first question is Eicha, and the question is, how have you fallen so low? That's the first question that the prophets are asking. How did you do this? And we could ask this question, and it's a problem focused question. And that usually is good because it helps a person just to trace his behavior and to realize what he did wrong. If a person doesn't know what he did wrong, he doesn't know what to change. But don't get too long in that you're going to start ruminating in those thoughts and those negative thoughts. But instead, we're going to change it around and say that there's another word here, which is Eicha, not the question of how have you fallen so low, but where are you? Where are you right now? What is the status of the reality that you're in right now? And that's a second question that is a different question that a person can ask himself when they're going through hard times. This question is, what am I dealing with? What am I up to? But then there's, of course, the best question is the question of Hashem towards Adam after he did the sin. And that question is Ayeka. Ayeka means which direction are you going in? What is your direction and where do you want to go from here? And that third question, that focused on problem solving, the focused on solution based, that question really is the best question for a person to understand. Because when you ask yourself, how do I get out of this pit? You'll learn the pit the same much than if you would have asked you how you got in the pit. And when a person asks the right question, he usually is able to get to much better results.